Hi, so before we start walking through the introduction and the actual presentation, I will walk you through the web page that I have made. So this has introduction, discussion, and conclusion. Introduction part is divided into three parts, three models, that is Berry Street model and a relationship between all the contents, positive behavior learning, multi-tiered system support, and the picture supporting that. After that, this is me during my placements when I was supporting Yellow House during the school sports day placements. This is the discussion part where I have added the evidence and examples, and at the end we have a conclusion for our material and the references. If we click on the comment section, I have actually added some of the comments related to evidence and the contents explaining the each um, 5 domains of the BSEM model, so you can have a look through that as well. I will attach the link with the for the video in the Word document. That would be easier to navigate. Thank you. Let's jump to the video. Hi, I'm Ria, and today I am going to talk you through the three frameworks I believe are essential for building safe and inclusive and predictable classroom. The first one is Berry Street model, positive behavior for learning, and multi-tiered support system. I will explain each of these with the evidence supporting them. Also, how I will actually use them in year 7 to 9 classes. Let's start with the Berry Street model of BSEM. This is the Australian trauma informed framework, which is built around the idea that a student will not focus on learning unless and until they feel safe and regulated. It has 4 domains that are body, stamina, character, and engagement, all sitting on the top of one foundation, that is the relation between the teacher and the student. The evidence behind this is also genuinely really strong, and the independent evaluation by University of Melbourne Youth Research Center found that BSEM has contributed more than 2 years of academic growth in a single year of implementation, particularly for disadvantaged and the struggling learners. For year 8 class, this might look like starting every lesson with a quick check-in, maybe one word for mood check, or a short brain break partway through a double period, as the classes are like 1 hour long. If I notice a student becoming dysregulated, I would really offer them a moment to step outside or calming themselves or walking through a little bit during inside the classroom. That is BSEM sorry, in action. Now I will talk about positive behavior for learning. This is a whole school framework built around the small number of clear, positively framed expectations. Things like being respectful, being a learner, or be safe. That get explicitly taught to every student, not just assumed. So research is also strong behind this framework. There was a study across 18 schools in NSW public schools, involving 2,000 students, found that schools implementing this PBL for more than 9 months so improvements in student behavior and motivation. A Victorian government evaluation also found stronger student connectance and inclusions in the schools using the approach as well. With year 9, I would apply this explicitly model what being a learner looks like. For example, demonstrating how to ask a question for their clarification respectfully rather than expecting students to know. If a student calls out without raising a hand, instead of reprimanding them, I would calmly restate the expectation. Remember, we raise hand before we have to ask a question. The third framework is the multi-tiered system support, and this one has 3 tiers, and which actually helps to know which student needs to fit in which tier. For example, tier 1 is universal. The routines and the explicit expectation of every student receive which is really in BSEM and PBL strategies. Tier 2 is targeted support, that small group like check in and check out. When I was doing my placement, I saw my mentor doing daily check-ins with some students, and if they need help, she would ask them for help. And another tier 3 is the intervention support. So intervention support is that individual, the one-on-one support. I would use this when my students were absent or they missed the class due to some music lesson or something, so I would give them one-on-one attention so that they can follow up with the content as well. Used together, these 3 frameworks build a classroom that is predictable and builds a relationship between teacher and the student, and that makes them feel safe and inclusive environment where they can genuinely thrive. Thank you for watching. Bye.